Hi everyone, this is Krista, and I just wanted to put this video out this afternoon after I had a little bit of inspiration over the weekend. And particularly, I was inspired over the last week by one of my good friends, Jen Oliver of Love Fit Mama. And what she was doing last week was she was running the Unfuck Yourself challenge. And I know that might sound a little bit crass, but the idea really was to get you to stop, think, and it really does. Sometimes you drop a bad word and people pay attention. And what this challenge was all about was really about getting rid of all of those limiting beliefs that go on in your mind about, you know, why you can't do something or you won't be good enough for this because of this reason. And it could be, something that's happened recently that has that idea in your mind. It might be something all the way back to your childhood that you've just kind of held on to. And, I've never been a runner. I always, that's kind of one of the things that popped into my head just now is, I've always had it in my mind, like I can do short distances, but I could never run. So I've never really taken it up. I've never really tried per se, but it's just an example of what some of these limiting beliefs can be. And particularly with infertility, it had me thinking about how going through the struggles that we do on this journey, it really puts a lot of doubts and insecurities and these limiting beliefs onto us. And it can be really hard. And we really have to recognize when we're doing this and realize that these really aren't us. It's not what's going on in our lives. And, it's just an idea that we have in our head, and we have to kind of recognize them and be able to push it to the side and get over that. If I was thinking back 2 years ago when I was going through this and I was so stuck emotionally and I just really, I had a lot of doubts. I thought I was broken. I thought I was worthless. I was so stressed that I wasn't becoming a mom when I wanted to and how I wanted to and all these different beliefs. And if I would have stayed in that mindset, I would have been miserable. I wouldn't have gotten to the point where I am now. I wouldn't have been enjoying my life over the last year and a half when I really started making these changes to how I was kind of thinking about things. And that was a big eye opener, I guess, for me to start recognizing these things and saying, no, that's not really who I am. Doesn't define me. And, just having this kind of awakening and realizing this can be really life changing. So I really would suggest that you guys kind of look to yourselves. What do you kind of carry? What do you think of yourself? Is there particular things, that you label yourself with? And are those really true? Are they factual, or is it just something you've built up in your head that you kind of believe about yourself? Because despite struggling with infertility, and maybe you're not a mom yet, you're at the same stage I am, you're, going down different avenues and things like that, that doesn't make you any less important. It doesn't make you any less of a mother, especially to us that have, lost through miscarriages and things like that. I'm still consider myself a mother. And I didn't realize that right away after I had my miscarriage. I thought that I had failed. I didn't manage to carry this baby, but that love for that child was already there. And I am a mother. And that's the mentality that I'm now going with. It was interesting to have kind of some of these inputs and these realizations over this weekend. Because it was the August long weekend last year that I had a huge shift in my perspective. Again, I was up at the cottage over the August long weekend, which I've done for a long time, up with family. And this time last year, I was in a really bad place. I was at a fertility clinic that I didn't particularly like. It was the first time I've ever been with a fertility clinic, so I just kind of assumed that was what life was supposed to be like. This is how every clinic was run. So I wasn't really having a great go of it. Right before we went up, I had just found out that our second IUI had failed. So I'm just waiting on that lovely period to come again. And, it wasn't really a great state of mind. One of my best friends, who's a hospice nurse, she had been reading a book. And it seems odd to be reading this particular book, but it has so much merit for anyone really. And the book that I was reading was called Life Lessons. So by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and David Kessler. And basically, they are two experts on death and dying. And the book is all about using their experience in this aspect and translating that into powerful, understanding about how we should be living our life, how we should enjoy this based on, how they've noticed and what they've got feedback from the people that they work with, what their biggest regrets are when they're at the end of life, and how you shouldn't let yourself have these regrets. Live your life. This is what people who don't have any more time have, been telling them over and over and over again. And it's so important to kind of take some of these lessons and start applying them in your life, because you don't want to get to the end of your life and realize you didn't live. You didn't enjoy the life that you had while you had it. And you know what? There was particular chapters that really resonated with me. And as soon as I read them, it was just like an aha. That was my aha. I read these chapters and I went, you know what? I'm done with this clinic. I'm done with how I'm feeling. I'm totally going to make a change. And that was such a big deal for me. And I wanted to share a little bit. I'm not probably going to be looking right here because I want to read this just so you guys get some input. But the particular chapters that I really found powerful were surrender and patience. So in surrender, sometimes the need to change is really obvious and sometimes it's not. When we don't know if it's time to surrender, sometimes just using a simple serenity prayer or sending something out into the universe can be really powerful. And the one thing that they had recommended was the serenity prayer, which is grant me the serenity to accept things that I cannot change and the courage to change things that I can, along with the wisdom to know the difference. I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, because I can't necessarily change my fertility status, but I can change how I feel about that. I can do things to improve my health, to improve my mindset, to improve my well-being, and that is going to be really important. Yes, we might still struggle with infertility and we might still have to go through other avenues to help us along, but I don't have to be stuck in this mindset of I failed, I'm, broken, we're never going to have kids. I don't have to have these things running through my head, and neither do you. If you kind of accept this, and you can use that to little serenity prayer to send that out to the universe if you want. It was really powerful for me, and it might work for you as well. The other thing was the patience chapter. Sorry, stumbling over my words. But basically with this, with infertility, weeks and years, it's crazy. It's crazy how long the process can take. It's not a quick thing to deal with. And often a lot of us, are in it for long haul. You're not even considered infertile until it's already been a year of struggle. And, patience has always been something I struggled with, but it doesn't have to be really upsetting. Just having that patience to get you through this time is really important. So one thing that they had noted in their book under patience is just going that first step of patience is really giving up the need to feel like you need to change things. It's having the awareness that some things are the way they are for a reason, even if we don't think it or we can't see it. If something's not changeable, try not to see it as broken. Try to find a little faith in the process and the unfolding of things. For me, this was really a big thing. And, always trying to fix things, change things, make things happen now is not always the best answer. And sometimes you just have to let things go. They have to come out in their own time, and you have to take the time to kind of see things in that light and let things come about the way they will. Not to say that, you can't help things, you can't get support. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying basically, that there are some things that I can affect. I can't go in and, manipulate my eggs or make them more viable, and I can't force a pregnancy to happen. But you know what? I can have the patience to let what I'm doing, the support that I'm getting, you know, the help of the doctors, diet changes. I have the patience to kind of wait that out and let things happen as they're going to happen. It's interesting that they kind of noted that we also often believe that we need to really be of assistance to a lot of things. And some of the most amazing things in life really don't need assistance. We don't have to tell our cells to divide. We don't have to tell a cut to heal. Our bodies really are amazing. And there is a power out in the world. And we just need to trust that all things are moving forward and the good, even when we don't recognize it or we don't see it. So things are moving forward. It might be small. You might not notice it, but things are moving forward. And having the right mindset to deal with that is so important. And that's really what positive conception is kind of all about. It's really about shifting that mindset, getting you into a better place so you aren't feeling so isolated, so alone. Really shifting how you feel about yourself, this process. And that's really what I wanted to share today, is just this idea of getting rid of these beliefs about yourself that really aren't true, and kind of helping you to see that you can shift your mindset and feel so much better about yourself and this process when you do. So if you need any other assistance in this regard, I really hope that you will jump over to the TTC Tribe. Recently changed the name, so that's just my positive conception private group if you need further support. And you know, positive conception is really, it's just me manifesting what I've learned through this journey and sharing with others, because I know what a terrible place I was in, and I want to help other people kind of get that shift. You know, things aren't always great and shit happens. I just had a failed IVF. I was really hoping that it would be positive, and, you know, but having this shift helped me deal so much better. I would have been miserable this weekend. I might not have even gone on vacation, you know, getting news like that. It's so much money, so many needles, so much stress. And, you know, just having this different mindset over the last year has helped me deal so much better. I can see that, you know, there was nothing that I could have done differently. I'm not putting any blame on myself or pressure on myself. I just have to look forward, live my life, enjoy the time that I have, enjoy my family, enjoy my friends. And, you know, we have 3 more little embryos, and I have to just focus and think positively that those little embryos will eventually be babies. And, you know, it's just that shift in mindset that's really powerful. So I hope you guys take a little bit of kind of the advice from this, and hopefully it inspires you a little bit. If you want to learn more about the Unfuck Yourself Challenge over on Fit Mama, go check out Jen Oliver. She did all of that week with a lovely Kimberly Banfield. And, you know, go check out their videos, especially the Friending Fear video. I'm going to put a link below that because I really found that video super powerful. So go check that out, and we will talk again soon. Bye, guys.